Daniel J Jones, the main character and the real life hero behind the torture report. I recently finished watching a movie that I was watching from yesterday. I was continuing that movie from yesterday because yesterday I paused the movie in halfway as it was big enough, and I was also about to study, so I just finished it right now today. And I wanted to talk about that guy, bro. That guy has so profound memory and has so much brutal way of speaking facts over any allegations that gets accused to him over his report findings, stuff like that. What fascinates me was the way he was debating, the way he was counter attacking with facts, not with, you know, made up facts like that, but facts from the straight up sources. And I really like how he has this ability to retain every single information that is going through every files of the CIA that he took out from the data data frame, and just, you know, any arguments that has been attacked to him, he just counter attack it with facts straight out of the source, with stating the page number and stuff like that. In real life, I really want to have that kind of profound memory over me, that kind of photographic memory, because I love to read all about technologies, and I love to read Wikipedias a lot about many theories. I would really like to retain every information that I read over the Wikipedias, because Wikipedia is, you can think of it as an encyclopedia of online, and it's much bigger than university. The information that it contains is much bigger than universities. The thing is that I do really want to have that kind of speaking skills, was also very fluent. There's no chance of slipping up words in the way he was presenting. The movie was all about the brutal practices that CIA used to do after 9/11 to the prisoners of wars and people who committed crimes. It was against human rights, but CIA did its own practices, brutal practices, to such extent that it does organ failures to the prisoners. And in order to blame their practices, there were various investigations that were happening from various agencies of the United States. Like the main agency was the FBI itself, where this guy named, what is the name again? Jones, J Jones. I right now I told the name, but then guess what? Within minutes I forgot the name. It was, the surname was Jones, I guess. So basically, he had spent over 6 years making, piling up the report of more than 6,000 pages. Unfortunately, that 6,000 pages report has never been released, but instead, a 600 summary page has been released. It's really fascinates me. The guy has been working straight day and night to produce 6,000 page report, but then, in vain. Every efforts went in vain when the main directors told him to reduce it to 600 pages. It's just so amazing, bro. I mean, and the way he was working, bro. I mean, his entire room was filled with findings and searches that he has been doing all over the documents of the CIA that he has been filing over the period of time. He keeps himself healthy by running, or, yeah, most of the time it's running, and do the work day and night. I mean, fitness is also important, bro. It really fascinates me, bro. I gotta keep my health clear, to be honest. It's by running or by walking, both together in a hybrid way. But I really like the photographic memory he has, and I would do my searching over the fact how to keep retain so much knowledge. Also, the fact that he speaks so fluently, straight up to the brutal facts. Like throw all the facts in front of the faces, on the faces of those allegations. And there were references of Edward Snowden. I rewatched that movie yesterday, and there were references of Edward Snowden again and again because what he did is that he copied the evidences of how the US government, the CIA, is illegally targeting citizens' data, phone number, everything through the companies like Google, Yahoo, Amazon, Facebook, everything, and been targeting every citizens all over the world. He just exposed that illegally. Some call him hero, some call him villain, but it just proves the fact that even though he was a whistleblower, he did the right thing to expose his own country's government. And if he never did that, I think there would eventually have been coming to a point where a certain person in the power would flip a switch and there would be no turning back from the point of them surveilling every single phone numbers data you are currently using. Right now I have this phone, maybe they're surveilling me, who knows. The camera, the audio, the mic, it can be turned on. They might be listening. But I don't have anything here. No intelligence, nothing here to hide or something like that. But sometimes it really fascinates me when I talk about a certain product to one of my friend, and then let's say I was talking about safe cutting machine, and then after the call ends, I have been thrown loads of ads with safe cutting ads. That's the thing. You will never know. That's the very scary part, bro. I really want to make my own operating system on keeping Linux as the terminal. Let's see how it happens in the future. But then again, yesterday I was researching about my options on how to go on making money, and I want to learn editing on DaVinci. I want to master that and want to monetize that skill because I need editing skill as well as for my YouTube channel. But also, if I can monetize that, it would be very fine. And right now, I have copywriting skill. I would like to rearrange all the portfolio first that I have been making over the year in a specific area, and then would like to use both expertise of copywriting and video editing to a very niched kind of use, something like a creator manager or something like that, someone who manages the whole creator itself, and that can be done, right? So I am targeting for learning DaVinci Resolve. I would like. I also have to have left of the coming years. There are many things to be configured, but we'll do it anyway. So today I'm especially getting stuck at every words that I'm speaking. And I think I would need loads of practice every single day to reduce the gaps that I have between each words. Okay, so let's talk about the movie that I was watching. It was all about after 9/11, the CIA was doing the EIT practice, which was about torturing the prisoners to its date, which was against the UN's human rights resolution, because of which there were a series of accountability searchings findings over the files. And one of the people who was working in that was, I forgot the name. What the heck, man? I gotta understand how I can improve my memory. Because for me, I don't believe in limitations. I believe everything can be improved. Everything has a room to improvement. And it also applies same for my memory, for my cognitive ability to remember things. And I'll do that. Because I have been proving myself wrong again and again that my limitations can be broken. So that person, the main character of the murder of the torture report, so fluent and so hardworking basically, man. He could have been working for his own to make lots of money, but instead choose to work under FBI as a staffer with minimum salary. Well, the salary was not that much, but he was consumed. He was obsessed at proving CBI, sorry, not CBI, CIA wrong. That was the whole point. Then the main CIA charged criminal files against him, criminal cases against him, accusing him of hacking the computer wireframe from the main system of the government. And he just fought hard to prove himself wrong. And the connections that he had with the security national reporter have helped him a lot by on outmaneuvering CIA. That just explains, man. It's very important to have connections on many things. It's very important to have connections because not everything you can do it alone. You can't do everything alone. Let's say someone is a CEO of a company, and someone accuses him falsely that he has stolen the patent of another company's technology. He needs a lawyer, a very strong lawyer. Let's say the accusation is very strong. It's false, but the other person has made it really, really impossible to prove it wrong. But then he needs a very strong lawyer who can prove them wrong. So networking is very important. Having connections is super important. And in order to have connections, you have to provide value, bro. You have to provide value upright every single time. You go to a networking event, you just don't find value, bro. You just provide value for free upfront without expecting anything. That should be the basis of networking. I was reading about that in a book. I no longer remember the name of the book. I was reading that in lockdown, but yeah, it is like that. Also, it also applies from the copywriting principles that provide value upfront to build rapport. That's it. Now, yesterday I was going through the Epstein files, and it's really horrifying to see all the photos and stuff that has been resurfaced after releasing the files. They were pedophiles. Now, most of the government all over the world is pedophiles, bro. The US government, Donald Trump himself is a big pedophile. It's so disgusting, bro. I don't know, bro. I mean, Epstein Island was such an island where law ends. Law. It was such an island where law was not there at all. It was a kind of portal for those elite people who can do anything. They involve themselves in cannibalism. Yep. They eat body parts of those children. I mean, I really find it so strange. You have all the resources of the world. You have all the chickens. Even you eat beefs, bro. I mean, how the heck are you even eating children? That's so strange. That's so astonishing. I don't even find words to describe it. It's out of meaning. And through that, I'm just thinking about the thing is that your your character is really being tested when you have the real power all over the world. A person's character is being tested when he has the power to do anything. That's when his character is being tested. And there was this strange and fascinating experiment in Stanford where there were prisoners that were kept in certain prisons, and there were people, common people. I mean, n- random common people chosen randomly who were assigned as policemen. And the strangest thing is that the prisoners who were there, kept in the prisons, they were being tortured by the same police officers who was being chosen from the common people. Guess what? The basic psychology that has been proven from that experiment is that if you give power to a common man, and he will show you the true colors. That's everything. And the experiment was so ugly. It was turning out so ugly that the researchers had to stop the experiment midway. That was the whole point, bro. I mean, just think that you have all the power to abuse people, to do, to perform fetishes, to fulfill your curiosities and everything that you just imagine in your mind. You can do that with that power. Who's stopping you? No one's stopping you from doing that. That's the whole thing. I have nothing to say. So let's do the game of ending the sentence with a certain word and then starting another sentence with that same word. Word. I got to collect a lot of words from the dictionary. Dictionary was being used by me when I was very small. I used to flip all over the pages to find meanings of the certain words that I was finding quite hard to understand. Understand? I have to understand how my memory works, grows, and how I can improve that. Improve my speaking skills should be the main priority right now. Right now, I gotta apply those memory building practices over my academics because my exams are nearby. Exams has to be performed in a best way as possible as I can to gain as best percentage as I can. I can I can do what I must do right now in my own control to make myself better as a person, to make my mind, body better, to keep my health healthy, and build skills. Skills, I need to learn editing as fast as possible with the method of ultra learning that has been prescribed in this book. Book, right now I don't have any books with me. I have very few books which I read it over a certain period of time. Over a certain period of time, every minute's count. Every minute counts the activities that you do. Everything accumulates to a big outcome. Outcome, I'm very outcomes are very uncertain, but the probability of making the outcome successful is to just put your head down and work until the clock ends its time period. You need to keep strict time periods over the activities that you do because according to Parkinson's law, the amount of time that you give to an activity, the activity will take that amount of time. I don't remember the exact law of Parkinson, but it actually goes similar to this. This is myself recording in front of the camera to improve my speaking skills to such a fluency that I can counter attack anyone accusing me of anything false with my words, bold and decisive, as well as the facts that I remember in my mind. My mind is the most important, is the most powerful weapon in this whole world. The world, the world needs to be explored. I want to explore every single country, and that will broaden my perspective. Perspective, you need to read psychology to broaden enough the amount of perspectives that you can, and that will also help you remove biases from intelligence to be performed at its peak. Peak, there's no peak. You improve daily, there's no prime. You become better every single day. Day, day needs to be utilized in a very careful manner. Manner Mannerisms should be learned from Japanese people, but I doubt that is now the reality because Japanese people also perform a lot of cheating acts. No one in this world can be reliable. Guess what? That's the thing. Thing I don't know what that thing is, but that applies to anything that comes in my mind. So I was reading Macbeth, the drama. What do I mean by drama? These dramas have these hard words, Shakespearean words, and the old English that has been assigned into the syllabus. What's good will happen if I read those dramas? Dramas, there are a lot of writers who wrote dramas like Kalidasa. Kalidasa, he's a Bengali writer. He was a Bengali writer. Writer. I used to envision myself as a writer when it was lockdown, and I used to write novel books on a series that I was imagining in my mind. I still have that in my diary, planned out the plot. Plot, you need to set the plot of your life to such a peak that when you close your eyes for the last time, that plot runs throughout your mind like a beautiful cinema. I need to watch cinema instead of doom scrolling over Instagram and YouTube, because watching movies over a long period of time while keeping the attention over that medium is better for your attention span than watching countless reels and short form videos over hours. That is as harmful as consuming cigarettes and drugs. Bro, in my generation, the drug intaking has been consumed. If you look over the graph, official graph, graphs are the actual facts. Facts, you need to memorize the facts. Memorize, you need to sharpen up the mind. And it all goes all around again, because I was already talking about the mind, but I'm running out of words right now. So let's do the 1 minute non-stop story practice. There was a lawyer in Agra who used to work really hard for winning the cases that his clients provides him. And over the period of time of winning every single day, he became a billionaire. And over that money, he now goes to an island to buy that island and perform various human experiments on that island, which was unlawful back in the countries. Why does he perform the unlawful experiments? To fulfill his curiosity, and after which he would face feel guilty of his own act of curiosity, and then destroys the whole island by bombs. But then the satellites captures the images of those bombings, and not only that, he also catches the images of the dead bodies that has been piling up over the island. And then the government military goes into that island and arrests him out. The person was arrested and was kept for the life imprisonment, and potentially there was also cases filed against him which could go for the death sentence over his life, and that he get it. He then was announced to provide sentence to death by hanging, and he died by that. So conclusion of the story: power will judge your character. Power will test your real character. Okay, another story. A photographer used to photograph every cars that he encounters along the road, and one day he photographed a supercar so ironic way that the owner of the supercar himself invited him to his house, and turns out he was the owner of Ferrari, and later on he was appointed as the photographer chief executive over all the Ferrari cars that was manufactured by the company. And later on, he achieved that position through his skills, and then found a girl and married her to have a very good family over time. Later on, that guy buys Ferrari itself and used to do races at night when there was no people. and he was having fun driving that car at full speed and dragging that car over the corners. And later on became so much enthusiastic about the cars that he now remembers every tools, every parts that a car used to have. And right now he is a best photographer at Ferrari and also the car enthusiast, knows loads of stuff about cars. So that's 30 minutes today. See you tomorrow.